Well, good morning from the Pacific Northwest. We're going to give you a little look at what some hard work and clean living can do. You're looking at my raspberry patch right behind me there. I'm going to come up here and take a look at this garden. And a lot of the garden stuff I did this year is pretty much experimental. This is the first year for this garden. So I learned a lot about how to get the plants started from seed. And a lot of these plants behind me here all started from seed. And some of them I didn't think was going to make it, but they grew up pretty good, did all right. So I'm going to turn the camera around here and we'll take a little walk through the garden before I have to start harvesting some of this stuff. Here's old Mac. I'll start over here like this. Well, down there on the right is our blackberries, some marionberries and boysenberries down there. And you saw the raspberry patch, and there's the tomatoes. Now, I didn't realize they were going to get this dang big, but I'll give you an overlook here. I'm going to just pan right through here. So there's all the tomatoes and the peppers. I got bell peppers and jalapenos growing there. And there's a trussel with the beans and stuff on it. And down there at the other end is the corn. Okay, so this corn section down here was kind of started out as an experiment. And well, I started out with this little area here. I was a little concerned because this big monkey tree shades it right there. And so I was concerned about getting enough light right here in this spot, but the shade is up on the porch, and down here on the ground part it gets plenty of sun. So first I planted corn and beets in here, and they didn't grow. And so then I got out some corn, and I planted some corn seeds, and they didn't grow. And then I realized the reason was because the seeds I had were old. So I went and I've got some new seed, and now I've got corn stalks growing here. Came up just in the nick of time. Because I've replanted this little section here 3 times this year. But this is the first time for this year, for this garden, first year. This time last year, this spot was just a big pile of rocks and sand. And that stuff all got redistributed. And I've put 4 yards of topsoil in here. Let's take a look over here. We'll just walk down through here. See, I got some beans. I'm gonna try to can some beans this year, maybe. Might get a few beans off of here. They didn't grow, the bean stalks didn't grow as tall as I thought they would. But it looks like there's some beans growing on them there. And here's some cucumbers. Down here you can see the flowers. There's some little tiny baby cucumber right there. That's cute. Okay, we'll come around this way here and we'll look at the sugar snap peas. Looks like I better start picking these things. Look at them. Yeah, those are all the sugar snap peas. Okay. And here's my cabbage. I had a little problem with the slugs on my cabbage, but I took care of that. It's got a little row of cabbage there. And this here is cauliflower. You can see it. Here it is growing down in there. There's a cauliflower. My dad, when he was young, he worked on a farm where they grew cauliflower, and he would never eat the stuff. He hated it. Oh, you get that cauliflower stuff around me. I guess the smell of it would get to him and everything. Because he worked with it on the farm so much. Okay, so here's, well, look, there's a nice jalapeno right there. Look at that. And there's some jalapenos starting to grow. I got jalapenos, baby. Good. Let's come back over this way, see what else I got. I know there's some, those plants up there in the front, they got some, those are bell peppers. I don't see any peppers. Oh, those are just flowers. That's just a pepper flower there. Let's come around this side here and see if, here we go. There's a little bell pepper right there starting to grow. Where is it? Right there. And there's some peppers just starting to grow back there. These were the tomatoes that I planted from seed. And some of them, I didn't think they were going to make it because I thought I planted them a little too early, but because the rain just beat the hell out of them. But here they are, and they're growing. So there's some flowers up there. Those little yellow flowers are going to all be tomatoes. Okay, let's look at the rhubarb. I'll back up here a little bit. There we go. I've already harvested the rhubarb once this year. This is my second crop for rhubarb. Let's see if I can get down in here and go real slow. You can see. And you can see how big these get. These rhubarbs grow crazy. All you gotta do is put manure on them. There's all that rhubarb down in there. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here along this fence line. I want to show you my, see what I got over here is radishes. Okay, here's this container that I got the radishes in. And this right here is my third crop of radishes. I've already harvested radishes out of this box here twice this year. This is the third crop. So sometime in August, I'll pull those out. And these over here, this is horseradish. Horseradish is kind of invasive, and so they say you got to keep it in a bucket. I'm going to try to harvest some of that, see if I get, because I love horseradish. Yeah, and there's old Mac. Here's my dog. He's a good boy. Yep, very nice dog. Okay, let's go over here and look at the, here's the zucchinis. Okay, look how big these things got. They grew up really big. I planted these zucchinis in 3 days. They popped out of the ground and started growing like crazy, and I just brought them out here and planted them. So here you can see zucchinis growing there. Right on the end of the flowers. And I got three nice plants. You can see those small zucchinis starting to grow right there. Down inside here, I like getting down inside these plants. This is cool. Looks like a jungle. Okay, and over on this side here is the cucumbers. I planted a couple of cucumbers over there, but this was supposed to be the main cucumbers. And next year I'm going to have a trellis here for them. I thought they would grow out towards the grass here, and they didn't. They grew towards the building. And so there they are, growing up on the water pipe there. And there are some little tiny baby, you can see a little tiny baby, yeah, right there on the end of the flower there. And a little tiny baby cucumber there. There should be a few of those in here. Yeah. So, here's the garden. Let me back up. Look, old Mac over there. He's just patiently waiting for me. Watching me do my thing here. Okay, I'm going to back up over this way here so we can see the overall picture. There's the zucchinis and cucumbers over there. And then there's the garden up here against the house. I get good sun there up till about 2 o'clock. Then the sun goes over and the house starts to shade over it. So when it gets real hot in the afternoon, the sun's not directly on the garden. But it does get good light all morning. Okay, and so there you have it. That's a little tour of the garden. Life is well out here in the mountains. You can see the mountains back there behind me, across the field. I love living here. Best life. Thank you for watching.